Good bunch of lads. I, correct me if I'm wrong, David, but I'd say probably 7, 8 times out of 10. Very, I would say 8 times out of 10, it's very clean racing, minimal DNFs. I think probably like 3 DNFs maybe.
It's gotten better in the last races. I remember the
Yeah,
DNFs were higher in the season, but I think the last races have reduced to 3 or 4 per race.
yeah. I think the lads have been racing together for like 2.5 seasons now, so they've got some confidence and trust in one another. He's in Jackson.
There you go. I just sent it to you there.
Yeah, thank you. Um, if you want us to mute you so you guys can sort of talk and prepare yourselves or whatever. Um,
I'm all fine.
all right. I will be muting you guys for the race though. Um,
Yeah, that's fine. Wait, actually, David, do you want me to do the intro or will you do it? Like once the race or qualifying begins?
I'm gonna do the intro. No problem, mate. Then you
Okay.
can continue. I'll introduce you as well as the new commentator for the league. Then you can say hello. I always make the intro when the quality is already started, like when we are already in the session and the timer has started. Then I make the intro. I'll introduce you. Then you'll say hello and your first word for the league.
All right. Perfect.
okay, so we've actually got all drivers in. We're just waiting for Sebastian. He'll join in quali. Um, just during qualifying, if you guys can send an invite. What's his name? His PSN is Semba9812. It's in the chat. So SEMBA9812. If you can just manually send him an invite during quali. Um, yeah. But otherwise we are good to go. Alright, I'll mute you guys now because we'll start in like 2 minutes. But all the best, enjoy, and hopefully it goes well for you guys.
Thanks. Good luck on the race as well.
All good. Yo. Yeah, alright. Got two comms, possibly a race engineer. Here he is. And we'll most likely be starting in a minute. You all good, Eunice?
Yep.
No stress if you don't want to do it. But I mean,
No, don't worry.
um, alrighty. Eunice.
David, make sure you have the three guys muted so that you can't hear them in the stream.
Yeah, I just did that.
Alright, perfect.
Okay, let's have a good commentary, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure it'll be a good one.
And welcome everyone to round 14 of PFR Division 2 Season 4. We are here today for the Brazilian Grand Prix, or now named the Sao Paulo Grand Prix since last year 2021. Here at Interlagos, another short track like last weekend's race at Mexico, which I will say wasn't the most exciting race, but I think today's in a classic track like Interlagos we can have much more action than we had last weekend at Mexico. And today I am here at the commentary with the new commentator for PFR, Conal, named as Moore Games as his PSN. So please say hello to the league, Conal, and well, let's give him a great welcome to PFR.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm obviously the new commentator here, and I'm looking forward to commentating on this division. It looks like we have a good roster of drivers, and I'm sure they can produce a lot of on-track action for this Brazilian Grand Prix in the closing stages of Season 4. And yeah, just happy to be here.
Well, now looking into the drivers that have already come out of the pit lane, we have PFR Benny, He's gonna be the first driver to set a flying lap today on the McLaren. One of the usual top guys, so you can all know the top names you are gonna be seeing today. Ben is usually one of the guys on the front, not always at the lead exactly, but he is a really fast driver, so you are now gonna be able to see his first flying lap coming into the final corner, and he's gonna about to start his first run. Then we have the Mercedes of Vintage Grease, really fast driver, but still missing some of his consistency. We know he's made a lot of mistakes in the first part of the season. Last race was much more solid for him. But following now Ben, coming into the SS of Brazil, the first couple of corners. Now coming into the end of Sector 1, of course the popular corner where Verstappen and Hamilton clashed last season. It's a 16.8, it's going a bit over the curb there on the exit of the corner. Now it's going to go all the way by the outside, keeping it at 7th gear, now going quickly into 8th gear, but quickly once again switching back into 6th gear for the next corner. He's going to stay in 3rd gear, no, he's going to go down into 2nd gear for the next one. Now up into 3rd gear and pushing a lot of throttle there, but managing to hold the car nice and clean, not making a wheel spin there. Coming into the final corner, up into 7th gear, is going to brake into the 50-meter board almost. He goes a bit wider, avoiding the outside curb, quickly switching gears. And coming into the end of his lap, he's going to go all the way by the outside, not going to cut much of the line. And it's going to be a 1:8.0. I think not the best time you can set in Brazil, but still a pretty decent one for being his first run. Vintage Grease sets on the mediums a 1:8.2, Literary Siggins a 1:8.3, but on the soft tires. Kroba now improves by some thousandths of a second Ben's time.
Yeah, that was a decent lap from Benny there. I definitely think he can go a lot faster than that. I expect most drivers to be dipping into the 107s towards the end of the session. As we see there, Happy Kilmore dipping into the 107s with a 7.8. But Vintage Grizz on the medium compound of tire is able to set a 1:08.2, and that's a decent time from him. And if all the other guys who haven't set a lap yet, if they're not faster than him on softs, he might stick with that time, and we could see him starting in the top 10 on medium tires, and I think that would definitely help him out strategy-wise. But yeah, so far, Happy Kilmore taking provisional pole by 2/10. That's a decent margin he's got over Chromad, but there's still plenty of drivers who have not set a lap yet and are currently on their lap, and a couple of them looking at the medium compound of tires as an option. As we see, we have Evil on the mediums. We also have Eckhart on the mediums in that AlphaTauri, as looks like Chromad goes for a second lap in a row, as we actually see Eckhart there spin his car in the middle sector. Sorry, he got a bit too early on the power, even though his lap was invalidated, and he's hit into the wall there, broken his entire front wing. He's now going to have to come into the pit lane to get that repaired. But yeah, Chromad goes for 2 laps in a row and manages to set a 107.7, which is quite impressive because the tire temperatures are usually quite high around this track, especially in qualifying when the drivers are just going so fast and pushing every single turn to get as little time, as push the limits as high as possible to get the fastest time possible and go for that pole position. So yeah, I think Chromad with 2 lap old softs is able to set a 107.7. I think we could see him going a lot faster in this session.
Well, and I also have to say that look at Famrod's time. It's only 22 thousandths slower than Vintage Grease, so another really good lap on the medium tires. But at this point, we see that Vintage Grease has already been demoted into 7th place. We still have 6 more drivers to set a lap, so I think it's gonna be impossible to make it into the top 10 with the medium. So Vintage Grease and Famrod will have to switch into the soft tires, as Famrod has already done. It's not gonna be really possible to stay in the top 10 on the mediums. We're gonna follow now Rishi, the man that is chasing PFR Luke, that sadly can't race today due to some personal stuff. But I'm gonna follow Rishi now into a lap on the medium tires. He's also trying to go for the alternative strategy to start this race. We know he has the pace. Now, can he capitalize it in one lap? Coming into the final corner needs a 51.5. If he can make it into at least the top 5, might be a realistic option to try and start this race on the medium tires. If not, he's gonna have eventually to change into the softs. Coming into the line, and it is gonna be P7 for Rishi. Only, it's actually done the same time as Vintage Grease. Glitch of the game that Vintage Grease is behind him, as you know, real life rules say if you have the same time, driver that said it first stays ahead. But anyway, it's the same time for Rishi and Vintage Grease on the medium, so Rishi's definitely gonna have to change it for the soft tires.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Broken Reptile and Paulo Frost also on the medium tires, two of our drivers that haven't set a lap yet. Have Paulo Frost also coming into the final corner, and it's not looking at a really fast lap. It's around 2 seconds lower than Rishi, if I'm not wrong, 52.3. Broken Reptile is closer into the finish line. We're gonna follow him. What time can he set on the medium tires? It's say 19.6, not a good time at all. And Paulo Frost is gonna set also not a really good lap, a 1.9.2. Oh, and Lee Wayne Keenan goes up into first place with a 1.7.6. 10th faster than Chromat, takes the lead with 10 more minutes to go on this session.
Yeah, that was an impressive lap there from Leeway Kane, and that's going to put him on provisional pole by a little bit over a tenth there, and his teammate right behind him in P3 and currently on a lap, if I'm not mistaken, looking to improve. And so far it looks like both of the Alpines doing pretty decently so far, but it looks like the game's told me that Kilmore is 7 tenths up on his time, and we could see him get into the 106s if that's actually true, as we see him getting the shortest run to the line. What kind of time is it going to be? It's going to be a 107 flat, and that is 6 tenths faster than his teammate's time, and that puts him well ahead of any danger and could be looking for pole position in this session. That's an extremely quick time from Happy Kilmore there. 6 tenths faster than P2 and his teammate, and I'm sure he's going to be very, very happy with that time. But there's still plenty of people who are going to be setting more lap times in this session, and as the track evolves and gets faster, maybe people will start to be able to compete with that time. But so far, he's looking pretty good in this session, with a lot of people just about getting into the 107s, and himself almost getting into the 106s. What do you think of that lap?
That was an amazing lap. To be honest, I wasn't expecting a big improvement like that. I know the really fast times around this track are 1.7.0. That's a really fast time. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to see a really fast time as that, but now looking at how it's going, I think we can even see someone going to the 1.6 the 1.6 height, and I think that could be Rishi or Vintage Grease that have shown a really good pace on the medium tires. I know personally Rishi is a really fast qualifier. We'll have to wait and see how much pace he can pull out on those soft tires, but Happy Kilmore, I have to say, what a lap by the Alpine driver there. Really surprising, 6 tenths ahead of everyone else at this point, but there's still 7 more minutes to go. Never know what can happen, but I have to say it's going to be really difficult to defeat that time at this point. Vintage Grease now comes into the line, and with the soft tire set, say 1.7.6, which is a really good time, but still far behind from Happy Kilmore, which is faster than half a second from Vintage Grease, and, well, from everyone else as well.
Yeah, and I'm just watching Crow Mad here, currently on the mediums. He decided to set his first time on softs, and he's looking to beat it on the mediums, which is definitely going to be very, very difficult, as the mediums are a lot slower than the softs. But he's only 6/100ths off of his time coming out of the first sector, and if he could get onto the mediums and in the top 4, he'd be looking very good for the race, as I think PAFR Aaron there sets a 107.6. That's going to put him P4 on the soft compound of tires. But as you can see here, Chromad 6 tenths down on his time, and I really wasn't expecting him to beat his soft tire time with the mediums, as that's quite unrealistic, as his teammate giving him a bit of the toe up to the line, but even then he can only set a 108.4, and that would have only put him in P15. So yeah, I don't think the mediums will be getting anyone into the top 10 at this stage, because you need to be setting at least a 107.8, and the fastest time we've seen on the mediums so far is a 108.2, as it looks like Fam sets a 107.7, putting him P5 in this session. It looks very, very close between all of the drivers, apart from obviously Happy Kilmore, who got that amazing lap. As you can see there, Vintage Grease and Lee Wayne King just 1/1000th apart, and 1/100th behind is PAFR Aaron, and all the way from P2 to P13 are just separated by 3/10, and that is not a big margin. So it looks like it's going to be a very close qualifying session, but maybe not a close battle for pole. We'll have to see how it all plays out. But what do you think of the session so far?
Well, I'm definitely surprised by Happy Kilmore. You know, I've been commentating in the league since all the season, and I've never seen such a good performance from him in qualifying. And today, he is leading by 5/10 ahead of Richie now, that has come into the line and set a lap but unused soft. So this is interesting. Richie has set that 1:7.5 but unused soft tires, 4-lap-old soft tires. So I'm expecting to see Richie go even faster than that on fresh softs for his final run. I have to say, it's definitely not over. I think Richie can show up something in that final run. But for now, Happy Kilmore is dominating the session. And yeah, as you said, the session is really close. If we take out P1, we have Vintage Grease only 1,000 ahead of Lee Wayne King. Then we have Aaron only 10,000 lower than Lee Wayne King. They are on 11,000 of distance from 3rd to 5th. And we still have 2 drivers set a lap yet at this point. But it's looking really good to Happy Kilmore, as I said. And well, Semba has just joined the lobby. Thankfully he made it. He might be able to set a lap in 4 minutes to go. Going now with Lee Wayne King, who is preparing his next and possibly final flying lap. Currently on P4, 6/10 behind his teammate. Let's see what he can do on that Alpine. Warming up his tires, coming into the final corner. And there we go with Lee Wayne King. He's about to start his final flying lap. Let's see if he has something else to pull out from those fresh tires, or if he is gonna stay where he is. Of course, he is only a tenth lower than 2nd place. What can he do? And then fresh soft set of tires, not taking any of the curb on the 1st corner, takes a bit more in the 2nd one. Not taking almost any of the inside curve. A Broken Reptile goes 2nd fastest, a 1:7.5. Once again, not close to pole at all, but solid 2nd place by the Ferrari driver, which I haven't seen such a good performance from him in any of the last races as well. Following Lee Wayne King coming into, I think, yeah, he's aborted a lap. Yeah, he's aborted a lap. He's gone wide there. Lee Wayne King aborts the lap. Juventino moves up into 9th place. The Ferraris setting their first lap times. Or Broken Reptile, I think, already had a time, but not a good one. So Broken Reptile putting himself up into 2nd place. Juventino puts himself up into 9th. Not the best place to be, but still much better than not having set a lap at all. Semba, we'll see if he can make it to 1 lap at least. And Deadly Mosquito still in the pit lane. Literally Seconds has retired in the 16th place. Not gonna be able to improve at all anymore then.
Yeah, I just caught that. He made a mistake in the middle sector and had to completely cut the last right-hander, and just couldn't slow the car down, and then just slammed into the wall. That's taken his wheel off, and he's not going to be able to set a final lap time in the session. So that's definitely a shame to see from literally Siggins.
And Lee Wayne King is improving 1/10 into Sector 1. That's a big improvement, I think, for that sector in a specific. But he goes wide again in the same place. He made a mistake in his previous run, and once again he's going to have to abort the lap, unfortunately. doesn't have the fuel, so that's gonna be it for Liu King. Unfortunately, he was coming in a really good lap. At least the first sector was really good, at least to place him in second place, but now that's gonna be it for him in this qualifying. I don't think he has any more fuel to set a decent lap. We're following now Vintage Grease, who is, I guess, on a flying lap. Not sure if he's been interrupted by Liu King, but anyways, there's been a bit of a slipstream even into the final straight, coming into the line, and it's gonna be, no, he's 2 tenths lower than his previous time. Ben has done a really good lap, putting himself up into 5th place. Now Rishi, this is the man I have to follow now, the man that is trying to chase PFR, look for the championship. Looks really difficult at this point. Vanbrod now goes up into 2nd place, a 1:7.2. Good lap, once again not enough to match Happy Gilmore's time, but at least got only 2 tenths, almost 3 tenths closer into Happy Gilmore. So it's not bad at all, but what can Rishi do now? Arin is gone up into 3rd place, a 1:7.4. Rishi is improving 5 tenths. Rishi is improving 5 tenths into Sector 2. This might be the pole lap Rishi needed. We'll have to see in the final sector. Is only acceleration at this point. He's gonna try to cut everything, I guess. Not too much. Yes, he is. Coming into a line, and that is gonna be pole position, provisional pole for Rishi at least. Only around 30 thousandths faster than Happy Gilmore, but Happy Gilmore is starting his final flying lap, and he now improved the time Rishi has just set. Coming into Sector 1, and Happy Gilmore is 72 thousandths lower than his previous lap time. Not good at all at the moment for the Alpine driver. This is going to be really excitement for the end. Coming into the part, his teammate made a mistake. He's not going to make the mistake. Down into 1st gear. Oh, I think he might have messed up there. You never go down into 1st gear into that corner. That might be a mistake from Happy Gilmore. Now he's gonna meet a bit of traffic ahead of him. Coming into the final corner, and it's gonna be, oh, he's gonna be blocked by Ouch. He's gonna be blocked by Ouch. What? Oh, and he's in the wall. He's out. He's crashed out, blocked massively by Ouch there. Wow. Definitely Happy Gilmore is not gonna be happy at all there, as his name says. Not gonna be Happy Gilmore after being blocked that way in the his final run where he was fighting for pole position. He's gonna lose to pole by only around 30 thousandths of a second. That's gonna leave Rishi as your pole sitter for today, but you can see there's nothing said at all. 13 thousandths is not gonna define anything for the race. What a qualifying session was that, and what a sad ending for Happy Gilmore there, who, as I said, is definitely not gonna be happy at all.
Yeah, I mean, that block from Huge there in the Williams, that was just a bit of a massive mistake from Huge there. I think he's definitely going to get a post-race penalty after that one, because Happy Gilmore was over a 10th up coming out of the middle sector, and he was going to get pole position, but obviously Huge's awareness skills not very good, and that's what's caused him to block Gilmore's lap, and because of that he's going to be starting in P2 and on the front row of the grid. It's definitely a good qualifying position, but he's going to be very angry knowing that he could have done better. And Pham actually gets up into P3 with a 107.2 towards the end of the session. And I'm sure he'll be very happy with that time. Vintage Grizz, getting P4 in the session. Aaron sending a 107.4. Broken Reptile getting up into P6. Evil in P7. And Benny down in P9 with Liwei King all the way down in P10 after looking so good at the start of the session. But it's going to be interesting to see how the race plays out, because obviously the top 10 all have to start on the softs, whereas anyone outside the top 10 could be looking at a medium soft strategy. So what do you think they're going to go with?
Well, first of all, I have to say the strategy on this track is simply a soft medium or medium soft. I think some people might think that two-stopper is a good option, but in my personal opinion, I think that soft medium or medium soft is the way to go. So I think any of the options would be a good decision, but of course, if you start on the softs and you get caught with an kind of early safety car, then you can pit and go for mediums to the end of the race. If you start on mediums, it's a risk in case of a safety car, because you of course can't pit and make it with softs to the end of the race, you could well go for hards, but the mediums are gonna be way faster than the hards. At every point of the race, I don't think the degradation is really high. I've personally made some practice for league races time ago, and I remember the softs were really good, even more than half of the race. So it should be an easy soft medium for everyone. So I think any of the both options are a good decision. Medium soft, soft medium, all will be good. You can be always thinking there will be a safety car. So yep, any of the two of them is a good option to go for. And well, I think there's something not right with this because we should always wait on the grid, but this time I guess someone might have read it up when he shouldn't, and we are starting early because, you know, have a rule in PAFR that you have to wait for around, what, 2 minutes to wait for everyone to set their strategies, that they're maybe fix a bit on their setups, but for some reason we are early today, so I guess that must be a mistake from someone that read it up much earlier than he should. So gonna look into the chat if that's the case. But anyway, we're gonna review quickly the strategies from everyone. I think it's not gonna be easy to break the DRS range, no matter the pace difference. Being on DRS, breaking the DRS is gonna be difficult, in my opinion at least. We'll see if I'm right or wrong when the race starts. But drivers are already coming into their grid spots. Rishi is gonna be starting on pole, Happy Gilmore on second place. Of course, could have taken pole position, possibly would have taken pole position, and he for sure could have improved much more. That time could have gone more than 30 thousandths faster than his previous time. We'll see if he can have a good run into turn 1 or if Rishi will hold into that place, but of course nothing will be set till the final lap. At least in terms of pace, you never know, craziness might happen, but in terms of pace, it should be really close, especially between the top two. So drivers already on their spot. We are gonna get started with this Brazilian Grand Prix. The light's gonna come out at any moment now. And it's lights out and away we go, and Happy Gilmore's got a blaster of a start there. And he's already side by side with Rishi into turn 1. Happy Gilmore's gonna try and take the lead, but Rishi breaks the lane. Oh, and there's carnage from behind. There's big carnage there. That is gonna be literally Higgins, Famrod, Eat My Dust, all involved in an accident there into turn 1. Rishi leads, holded by the outside in a really good defense move from Happy Gilmore. Then comes Aaron, made it up 2 places. Evil Sooks made up 3 places. Ben has made up 4 places. Broken Reptile has hold into his place, but that means he's lose place into Aaron, Evil Sook, and Ben. There was a really big carnage there into the first corner. Not sure what exactly happened there, but a lot of people went off there into turn 1. Rishi leads, Happy Gilmore in second place, Oren in third, lost already the DRS range, but as I said, it was going to be difficult that happened, and looks like he's closing back to that range really soon. Evil Sook on P4, Benny on P5, Broken Reptile hold it into his place in P6, and well, most people have made up places due to all that carnage there. You can see the driver that improved most was Womax, that made up 7 places in total from P18 up into P11. Richie crosses the line, leading only 2 tenths ahead of Happy Gilmore. Then comes Aaron that, well, this time has lost the DRS range.
Yeah, that was a lot of action on lap 1. There's so many position changes, so much going on. As you can see, drivers still going side by side in the first sector. The massive battle for P10 right now with 4 drivers involved. Literally Siggins trying to get involved with Eckhart ahead and his teammate right behind him. Ugis, who blocked Happy Gilmore in his last lap, currently P10. These drivers all battling it away for the last points paying position. And there was a lot of action on lap 1 there. And as you can see, all the way from P16 to P20 have all had to box for new front wings after all of that carnage. And they've just lost so many positions. That's a real shame to see. As you can see, some of the drivers there, Pham, all the way from P3 to P15. Lee Wayne King has gone all the way down to P17. And I'm sure he's going to be very angry with that start, as Still so much action going on up and down the grid. Literally Siggins and Eckhart currently going side by side on the pit straight. It looks like Eckhart is going to have the outside line, but he is on the medium compound of tyres and definitely is not going to have as much grip going down into turn 1. Can Eckhart hold it around the outside and have the inside for the next line? But it does not look like it, as on those medium compound tyres just does not have the grip compared to literally Siggins, who's now going to be chasing down huge ahead of him. But as you can see there, if you look on the left-hand side, so many position changes. Wumax moving all the way from P18 to P9. That's a great start from him. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that one. Semba moving up all the way from the back of the grid after not being able to set a lap, all the way up to P13. Eckhart, literally Siggins, and Huge all having good starts. Aaron moving all the way up into the podium positions after a good start from him. And Benny, who didn't have the best qualifying, has been able to get himself into the top 5. But as you can see there, Aaron struggling to keep up with the DRS of the guys ahead. But it now looks like Happy Kilmore is going to go for the move on Rishi into turn 1. He's got the move done before the braking zone. And I'm sure Happy Kilmore is going to be very happy with that move, getting himself into the lead of the Grand Prix. As it looks like a mistake off of exit from Rishi there. And I don't think he's going to be able to fight back coming into turn 4. But wow. What a start to the race. So much action, and it's still going on as it looks like Huge has broken his front wing, now had to come into the pit lane. That's going to promote literally Siggins, who's now battling away with his teammate into turn 4. And it looks like he led him through there, Semba getting up into P10. But what did you think of that race start? So many position changes off of the start.
I have to say that was a really crazy start compared to last weekend's race at Mexico. It was much more calm and the start of the race. I mean that Mexico is a track that, well, turn 1 is carnage, but now we are at Brazil and, well, turn 1 turned to be a big carnage. And yeah, you saw Happy Gilmore there making the move on Rishi and now pulling away 7 tenths ahead of Rishi. But of course Rishi has used less ERS than Happy Gilmore has. Actually, I have to say, for being just lap 5, Happy Gilmore has consumed almost all of his ERA, so this may not pay good for him into the next couple of laps. He's only in 30% ERS. I think only with Rishi behind, he should be trying to save that a bit more. He doesn't have to worry about Aaron, who now has lost the pace, just lost the DRS range by around the 10th, and well, look all the time it has cost him now. Down into P3. Well, in P3, but now under the attack of other 3 drivers behind. Evil Sook's looking really fighty there, trying to get past Arin, but Ben also really close to look into that corner. But well, drivers are really clean, very aware, so we are not gonna have any silly dive bombs. So I'm expecting to see a really clean racing between these 4. You can see, as I was saying, there was gonna be a lot of trains. Have this first train from P3 to P6, then we have the train from P7 the train from P9 to P11. Echo has lost the DRS as well. Oh, and Rishi is now having a fight back for the lead. Rishi takes the lead of the race into turn 1, but now Happy Kilmer is gonna be able to fight this one back, and well, once again he's using ERS, but I think this is totally unnecessary. And if I was Happy Kilmer, I would be saving my ERS, to be honest, because I mean it's lap 6 and you already have no ERS. Rishi has almost half of his ERS, is now gonna be saving. Look at Happy Kilmer, his light is flashing already. This is not gonna pay good for him for the rest of the race. I wonder where he's gonna think about saving that. There's no reason to be fighting that hard when he has possibly the pace advantage. As well, he could try to stick with Rishi and save his ERS, but no, he's deciding to fighting for everything. But well, we'll see if it pays for him bad or not. A couple of laps, time will tell. But at this moment, he leads, but with a clear ERS disadvantage against his rival now. Rishi deploying a bit of his ERS, but you can see how soon he pulls away from using it and just lets using the slipstream to try and get past. Oh, and that's a DNF from Paulo Frost. He's out in the startup sector 2, and that's a safety car. That is a safety car, and that is gonna leave Happy Kilmore in P1, and well, I have to say that was really lucky there. I was saying he was using a lot of his ERS. Now with the safety car, he's gonna be able to recover all of the ERS he used. Not really sure what happened to Paulo Frost, but that's unfortunately our first DNF of the race. Man that started in P13 crashed out, looked like it was on his own. Now the question is, Happy Gilmore coming in? I guess he will come in, but can he make it to the end of the race on a fresh set of mediums? Now, I think the answer is yes. As I said, the tires last a lot on this track, so I think the best option might be coming in for a fresh set of medium tires. If that's the case, we'll see a lot of these guys on the softs, on the top 10 coming in for a fresh set of medium tires. You can see that Chromat, Womax, Eckert are all on the medium tires, so they possibly gonna be staying out.
Yeah, I think that was that safety car has really helped some of the guys outside of the top 10, but also hurt their races quite a bit because anyone outside the top 10 who decided...
Oh no! Happy
oh, it
Gilmore
looks
just
like
made
Kilmore.
the worst mistake. The worst mistake he could have... Sorry for interrupting you, by the way, but I had to mention that because that's a massive mistake by Happy Gilmore there. And this might be another massive mistake because he's gone to softs, and that means he's gonna have to make another stop on this race. While Rishi can easily go to the end of the race on those medium tires.
Yeah, that was some pit lane mayhem there from Happy Gilmore. First, he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and then obviously didn't check that his strategy was correct, and is now on the 2-stop strategy. So his race is basically over unless there's another safety car and he can fight his way back up the grid. But that is a massive series of mistakes there from Happy Gilmore, and that is going to take him out of contention for this race win, unless there is some mid-race madness. But yeah, it looks like Rishi is now looking to take the win away from Happy Gilmore, but this hasn't helped out Rishi, although it has a little bit because of Happy Gilmore taking himself out of the race. But he's now got all the cars behind him to deal with, and there was a massive battle between Benny, Aaron and Evil going on in the background, and it looks like Benny has been able to get the better of the guys behind him and is now in a net P3 since the top two. Like I said, anyone who started on the mediums is really going to suffer in this race because anyone who's on softs obviously boxes for mediums and goes to the end of the race, but anyone on mediums either has to stay out or go on to the hards, which are going to be a lot slower. So this has helped out people on the softs, and I think one of them was literally Siggins, and it looks like he's actually gone on to the hard tires, so he's...
now Happy Gilmore goes off the road, but it's nothing big, sorry for interrupting again.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, like I was saying, literally Siggins, I think he started on the softs, but he decided to go for the hard tires. So as you can see, some people going with a bit of a more conservative strategy, and I think Fam's done the same thing. He had to box early in the race for medium tires, but he definitely could have gone mediums to the end. So those two are definitely going to fall down the order quite a bit, but they might be faster towards the end of the race. I think the mediums are only meant to last a little bit over 20 laps. And now all of these drivers are going to be stretching them for the next 27 laps. We'll have to see how that works out for them. But yeah, Gilmore definitely out of this race now. No chance at a race win, although he's going to be a lot faster than the drivers behind him. And if he manages to pull out a 20-second gap in the next 10 laps, then maybe he'll have a chance of winning. But the chances of that are quite unlikely. And obviously Chromad and Eckert in the lead now, but still have a stop to make in this race. And so does Huge, Eat My Dust, Lee Wayne King, and the Ferrari drivers. So they didn't decide to box for new tires, but it's now time for the safety car restart.
So we're gonna have now the restart of the safety car. Chromat is now leading the pace, slowing down a lot of drivers. Well, you have to do that now, importantly due to the new game glitch that doesn't let you accelerate in some cases. Still, the safety car is totally in, which might bring a big mess. You might brake check your rivals, but it's all been fine this time. Chromat leads the pack and relaunches in a really good way the race. Chromat leads into turn 1, is gonna hold the place from Eckert. Then comes Happy Gilmore, who's now, as Conal said, out of this race, unless, well, he's now depends totally on luck. Luck is the only way he can be back on this race, but the thing that he could make up 20 seconds and then pit is really unlikely. He should have the pace advantage now on the fresh soft tires, but you can see he still hasn't even had a realistic overtaking chance on the top 2. He's not even close at this point. He might even have to wait for the DRS. Chromat leads, then comes second, then comes Happy Gilmore, then comes Rishi on P4, then Ben. Then weird that Aaron has already lost a whole 1 second, 0.2 to Ben in the restart of the race. Then comes Broken Reptile, late 10s behind. Aaron trying to get close into the lead pack. Here comes Rishi, he's trying to put a bit of pressure maybe on Happy Gilmore. No, Happy Gilmore is now trying to put a bit of pressure on Eckert. Can he try and send a dive into turn 1? No, he's too far from it. He could think of a dive into turn 4 if he gets a good exit out of here, but he looks like he hasn't. No, he has done a really good exit out of the SS there, and he might be thinking about a dive bomb there into turn 4. Yes, he will. No, he has to back off. Too far to send a dive there. This is costing him a lot of time, and yeah, you can see there how bad the decision was to go for softs. Well, I guess the only explanation I can find to this is that the game set his strategy to soft and not soft medium, and he didn't realize it, because I don't think he could have thought of that strategy was really a good option to go for. Now he tries to go all the way by the outside to get past Eckert, and he finally does. That was a really good move by Happy Gilmore there. That's a yellow flag, and that's unfortunately Womack, the man that had made up 9 places in the start of this race, is now once again at the back of the grid, 5 seconds behind Deadly Mosquito on the last place of this race, and he's crashed out. I think he's in the wall, but he's able to continue on this race. Now if DRS enabled, can Happy Gilmore get past Chromat into turn 4? He's too far behind, it won't be possible. Now Rishi's also made his way past Ben. No, sorry, made his way past... Oh, what happened to Eckert? Oh, he's only lost 2 places there. Nothing bad happened to him. He just got overtaken there by Rishi and Ben. Womack's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Is he gonna retire? Yes, he's gonna retire in the pit lane. So no more will to continue on this race, and yeah, voluntarily retires from it as well. Well, I always think that you should always try to fight it till the end. If the chances are not 100% over for you, you should always try to keep there. You never know if safety cars may happen, but well, of course some people are at the moment not happy and just decide to rage quit mid of the race, so of course not the best thing to see, but well, that some people do it sometimes. But coming back into the race itself, Happy Gilmore's now got a really good run on Chromat and finally takes the lead of the race. And now he's gonna have to push those tires as hard as he can, because that's the only way he can find a solution to this race, or at least maybe try to make it to the podium, because, well, he has the pace. But yeah, going for the win is gonna be nearly impossible. I would say 90% impossible to go for the win without counting luck. 7 tenths ahead already of Chromat, and well, I think he's gonna break the DRS range into the next sector.
Yeah, so far this is some really great racing between all of the drivers. As you can see, all the way from P2 to P11 is just a massive DRS train, and the qualifying was super close in this division. Every single driver pushing each other to the absolute limit, because every 1,000 counts in this league, as you can clearly tell. All the drivers so close. As you can see, Huge at the back here on the soft tires. He can move all the way up to P2 in just a matter of a few laps because of this DRS train. And as you can see, it looks like he's going to try and do just that, as it looks like Vintage went a bit wide there coming out of the final turn. And Huge, having the DRS, is going to be able to make a nice and easy move before the braking zone and gets himself up into P10. trying to move himself up the grid. Rishi getting quite close to the back of his teammate, could be looking for a move, and it looks like he is on his teammate down the inside into turn 4. And with 8 lap fresher tyres, Rishi is going to get that move done nice and easy. So right now, both of the Aston Martins on the podium, but obviously Chromad has to make another stop in this race along with Eckert, who even though he has 8 lap old medium tyres, both Chromad and Eckert are able to stay within the DRS of the drivers ahead of them. But as I say that, Eckert 8 tenths behind, could be losing it if he has a bad final turn, as it looks like the Alfa Romeo of Semba there went around the outside up that long left-hander. Aaron gets a 3-second penalty for making a mistake as he tried to overtake Eckert down the inside into the penultimate turn, and now Eckert's going to be able to fight back with the power of the DRS. It looks like Broken Reptile trying to get in on the action, and so is Semba down into turn 1. Both drivers going side by side, along with Aaron and Aaron and Semba going side by side. Looks like Semba is going to have to concede the position as Aaron falls back quite a few positions and also loses or gets himself a 3-second time penalty, which is going to lose him quite a bit of time in this Grand Prix. So even though it was just a little mistake, it's going to cost him so much. And it looks like a little bit of action at the back here. And it looks like the second Haas car of Deadly Mosquito has now had to retire from the session. That's brought out the safety car. So it's a double DNF for Haas. And they're not going to be happy to see that. Oh, yeah, and so did Hughes. It looks like Hughes just made a mistake there under safety car conditions. Even though you're meant to be going slowly, he was obviously pushing the accelerator to try and keep the heat in the tires, but that has led to him losing quite a few positions. And now this is going to help people like Happy Kilmore get back into the race as everyone comes into the pit lane. Even though those mediums could have gone to the end, people are going to go onto the softs to finish off their race. But yeah, like you said before, Happy Kilmore needed some massive luck to bring himself back into this race, but he's gone on to the mediums. He has no idea what the strategy is clearly, or no, he had to use the mediums because obviously he used the soft at the start, then had to box for softs, and the rule is that you have to use 2 different compounded tires or else you'll get disqualified. And as you can see, a couple of other people going on mediums. I definitely think the softs could have gone to the end, so a lot of mixed strategies, as you can see, all the way from P1 to P5, everyone on the medium tyres. Lee Wayne King obviously not taking this safety car to box for softs or even mediums. Or sorry, there's 20 laps left. I don't know what I'm thinking that the mediums can go to the end. It's all very confusing in this very chaotic Brazilian Grand Prix. But yeah, there you go, the top 5 all on the mediums. So those guys are going to take them to the end. But Rishi, Happy Kilmore, and Benny are now on the mediums, and they're going to have 7 lap fresher tyres, which are going to be quite a bit faster than the guys ahead of them. Literally Sigan and Heike also staying out. Literally Sigan's on the hards though, so he's going to be a lot slower than people like Rishi, Happy Kilmore, and Benny. And then you can see there, Eke and Chromad, they had to go onto the softs because they had to use a different compounded tyre. But yeah, I don't know why I thought there was just 10 laps to go. We're not that far into the Grand Prix, so I think Eka and Chromad are going to have to go for the 2-stop in this race unless they push the soft tyres for all they're worth and stretch them to the end of the Grand Prix. But I really don't see that happening. But obviously I'm very confused with this strategy. How do you think this strategy is going to play out for the drivers?
I think these softs can make it to the end, like they won't blow up, but they are gonna be dead. They are not gonna be good at the end of the race, but they can make it. So I think the best option for these guys might be try and just minimize the damage and get to the end of those tires, because another stop would be totally race ending for them. They won't be able to be on the points if they stop again. So maybe just try and keep the tires the first laps and try to make it to the end with those softs. They could try and catch some points, or maybe just try to go aggressive on the first part of the restart of the race, then try to stick into the DRS and save the tires, because, well, as I said, one more stop will definitely put them away from points. Mediums is definitely the right option to go at this point, as we still have around 20 more laps to go, less than 20 laps now, but mediums is the safe and best way to go. But currently Broken Reptile is the man virtually leading the race because he has already made his stop. Safety car is gonna go on this lap, so Broken Reptile, now the question is if he can survive in that lead of the race with 8 lap old medium tires for around 19 laps or 18 laps if I'm not wrong. Now that's the question, because Rishi is down into P9, he's gonna have to make up 8 places, which he has 19 laps to do so. But we're gonna get with this race restarted. It's gonna be Broken Reptile who restarts the race, then goes Arin. He is 5 tenths behind already. Semba has got a bit closer there. Arin is with a big disadvantage now with the 3-second time penalty because of that mistake he made when he tried to overtake Echo. Semba is really close into Arin. And well, if Arin loses the DRS to Broken Reptile, that is gonna give a lot of breath to Broken Reptile to just try and pull away with any pressure from behind. And at the moment it is gonna happen that way because he has already a full second gap to the Red Bull driver. Semba is all the way at the back of Arin. He's gonna try and send the move at any point because, you know, he's really close, he was almost 2 tenths close into Arin. Rishi is now, Echo is, oh, and Happy Gilmore soft, no way! Happy Gilmore fighting against Echo there into the corner section, and now his spin, thankfully he didn't broke anything of the car there, but look at that is completely destroyed his race now, got the luck he needed, but then that, I would have to see that again, not sure if Echo was at fault there, but thanks to that, he's now down into last place in this race and totally out. Now if no luck comes once again and saves him. Meanwhile, Rishi on P8 has already made a place there, but it's gonna be difficult for the Aston driver to recover at this point. Broken Reptile pulled away in the lead of the race. Semba's now getting past Arin into turn 4 with no need of DRS. With no need of DRS. DRS is not enabled yet. Semba now not sure if he has the pace to try and close to Broken Reptile, but I have to say that is definitely not gonna make Happy Gilmore any happy now. It's down into P16 just ahead of his teammate that also have some accident there, and really far behind from the train, 7 seconds behind. That completely ended the race. Oh, and there's a Red Bull off as well, that is Hiccup. Hiccup is getting overtaken by Literary Seconds on the hard set of tires. Literary Seconds has made up 10 places, so currently he's done a really good fight. But no, Semba's done even better. Of course, he joined almost at the end of qualifying and he's made up 17 places. Semba's fight back has been massive at this point. If he wins the race, he's definitely going to be driver of the day for me. He is now definitely driver of the day, but if he wins, wow, that would be totally surprising for me.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a really good race so far. I'm currently watching the battle for P6 where Rishi trying to get past Eckert, and he does, but he gets himself a 3-second time penalty for a warning there. Also, the two McLarens battling it out with Bam ahead of them, and now the virtual safety car is out. What is that for? It looks like Chromad, the Aston Martin, who was looking to do pretty decently in this race, although he was on the 2-stop, is now out of this session. And yeah, both of the Alpines also having the worst day. They did so well in qualifying, but are now P15 and P16, essentially out of this race. Huge also quite far down the grid, and on the hard tyres, Benny not having the best of days. Emai Dust and Eckett still have to make a stop in this race. Rishi has a 3-second time penalty, and literally Siggins for the past couple of laps has just been trying to hold off absolutely everyone. It's been an onslaught of drivers, as him on the hards, he's a lot slower than everyone else, as the virtual safety car is now over, and I think literally Siggins might be under a bit of pressure coming into turn 1 as Aaron dropping down positions once again. He's just got no pace as It looks like his teammate Heike is now trying to make the move on literally Siggins. Couldn't find his way around the outside at turn 1. Makes contact with the back of literally Siggins there, which gives him a little bit of a drift. This now allows Rishi to get into the battle, and Rishi is going to go down the inside of literally Siggins and also down the inside of Hikut as literally Siggins loses 2 positions, and Rishi still going side by side as it looks like literally Siggins and Ekit make contact, and that's going to take both of them out of the race, and if not out of the race, at least lose them their front wings and quite a bit of time, as it looks like Rishi has now gone past Hikut, but it looks like literally Siggins might have just turned across Ekit there and just didn't leave enough space, and that's going to lose them quite a bit of time, and it's a massive battle for P6 with Eat My Dust on the softs now trying to get involved, but yeah, literally Siggins, I don't know whose fault that was. I was watching from an off-board camera and saw it in the background, but it did look like literally Siggins might have cut across him there, as it now looks like Fam losing quite a few positions, going down into P8 as Hikut gets past him. Eat My Dust still in P9 looking for that opportunistic move as Semba is now making the move for the lead, and he's got it done. He's got himself up into P1, and from the man who couldn't make qualifying starting from P19 on the grid has moved himself all the way up into the lead, and as you can see there, Ekit and literally Siggins going into the pit lane. So this is a very, very exciting race. Semba now in the lead of this Grand Prix after starting P19. I mean, this is an absolutely amazing race so far as the battle for P7 continues. But do you think this action is going to keep on going all the way until the end of the Grand Prix? Semba now breaks the DRS to Broken Reptile behind.
Definitely Semba looked like he had the better pace before that he got the overtake done. We remember that Broken Reptile was around 1.4 seconds ahead. Semba was subtracting all that gap, but now it seems like Broken Reptile still hasn't said his last word and has cocked DRS once again, but not sure if he's gonna be able to stay for long in that range, because look at that, 1.1 is already the gap Semba has on Broken Reptile coming into turn 4, and the gap is 9/10, and 1 second, yeah, it's gonna be Semba who's gonna be extending the lead. But I have to say, this is not over yet, because Rishi will still be in contention. He should have the better pace, but now the question is if he can get past Arin and Evil Souk quickly into the next couple of laps and not lose so much time. By the moment, if Rishi is not able to clear these guys ahead of him, might be the win for Semba, as he seems like he's now gonna be in really clean air. Of course he's gonna be in clean air, but he's not gonna have anyone bothering him from behind. He's just gonna be pushing on his own on the lead of the race, extending the gap. Unless Rishi, I think, would be the only driver that could manage to change that. Now getting closer to Vintage Grease, Arin and Evil Soup. Broken Reptile once again seems like in the straight he gets close into Semba, but this time I think he didn't make it to DRS. Yeah, he didn't. That is gonna make it, I think, the lead decided finally for Semba, that Broken Reptile won't be able to match on this race anymore. Richie now losing time against the 3 guys ahead of him, and he's actually been put under pressure by Famro there, so now for the guys that were leading the race turned to be completely on the opposite of the way they would have wanted it to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been the greatest of races for them. Obviously not doing the best, and I'm sure they're not going to be too happy with this result at all. But as you were watching Leave for the battle, Eat My Dust actually made a mistake in the middle sector and spun across turn 7, I think it was, and that's lost him a lot of time and taken him out of the battle for P6. And now Benny and Hiccuts made a mistake there. It looks like he's made a mistake in the final sector. That's going to drop him all the way down to P13, just behind Eat My Dust. So a lot of mistakes from the midfield drivers, but it now looks like Rishi and Fam have caught up to Vintage and Aaron. They're now going to be battling it out for P4, but remember, Aaron and Rishi both have 3-second time penalties, so if they all stay within the DRS of each other, we could see Fam and Vintage battling it out for P4 in this race. With also Evil Zook having to defend his position on the podium as the Siggins gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Hickett and Lee Wayne King coming out of the pit lane as I think they had to make another stop as they were on very old medium compound tyres. But as you can see now, Rishi and Fam's advantage is just going to get bigger and bigger as the race goes on. They now have 8-lap fresher medium tyres, and as the 16-lap old medium tyres continue to wear, they're going to get even slower and slower. Rishi now using all of his ERS to try and get past Vintage Grizz, and he goes down the inside into turn 1, and looks like the Aston Martin makes that move stick, but Vintage trying to get a good exit out of turn 2 actually hits into the back of Rishi, and this now gives Bam an opportunity to try and go around the outside into turn 3, and now turn 4 getting boxed in slightly by Rishi, and it does not look like he's going to be able to hold that around the outside. Vintage leaving him little to no space at turn 4, but Fam is going to try and go down the inside into turn 5, and they've made contact, and that probably wasn't the best idea to go side by side into there, as usually it's not going to work out for you, and this has now ended Fam's chances of going for a podium in this race. So what I'm seeing from a lot of the drivers is quite a few silly mistakes as Fam now drops down to P11, and he is no longer in the battle for P3 as Rishi gets past Vintage Grizz, and he's up into P5 now, but with that 3-second time penalty, it's not going to do him any good. But Broken Reptile now comes into the pit lane, and I wonder why this is. Does he think the mediums can't go to the end, or has he got wing damage? I think it might be the first one. He doesn't think the mediums can go to the end, so he's now gone on to the softs, and I really do not think that was the right strategy call from Broken Reptile there. He could have gotten easy P2 up against Semban Evil, but he's now thrown that away and is down in P12. It was looking like it could have been such a good race for him, but obviously hasn't got a lot of experience with the strategy, and is now down in P12 as Hickett sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Eat My Dust and Fam going side by side into turn 5. This is the second time Fam goes into this turn 5 side by side. Clearly not learning from last time, but manages to get away cleanly, but is still fighting for P10 with Broken Reptile in the background trying to get into that battle. But yeah, it looks like a lot of these drivers are just making silly mistakes with the strategy calls as Fam actually takes too much curb there in the final sector. That sent him spinning. He resets the track, and that's lost him all the time. And then he tries to push the tires once he's overheated them, and Fam is going to be absolutely kicking himself as by this point he's probably given up. He's just had enough as Rishi now in P4 going side by side with Aaron trying to get up into P3, and now Evil is now fighting for P2, and so is Vintage Grizz. So all these drivers are now battling for P2 instead of P3, but obviously Aaron and Rishi with that 3-second time penalty is going to be very difficult for them to break that gap as Hickett sets the second fastest lap in a row, and he's doing quite well for himself as I think Fam made another mistake there in the first sector. But the battle for P2 rages on, and as we watch Rishi come through the final turn, he's very, very close to the back of that Red Bull driver of Aaron, and will he be looking for a move into turn 1, as you can see, using plenty of his ERS, and now has the DRS, and I think you will be going for the move down into turn 1, getting closer and closer and closer. Is he going to go to the late dive to the inside? But it does not look like he's close enough. So even though he used almost all of his ERS, he still couldn't get close enough. Gets a very good run through turn 2 though, and is now going to be looking for a move into turn 4. Aaron trying to defend the inside, and it looks like Aaron's got some better straight line speed. As you can see, Rishi was down to about 2% ERS there, whereas Aaron's red light isn't even flashing because he's on 22%. Evil's red light is flashing. Vintage has now dropped out of the DRS of the top 4, and it looks like Aaron and Rishi might be able to get onto the podium now if Vintage continues to fall behind. But yeah, moving back away from the action, as there's just been so much of it this race. I think a lot of silly mistakes have been made by the drivers, either strategy-wise or overtake-wise. Would you agree with that, especially with things like Happy Kilmore making that mistake with the strategy, going on to the softs and getting himself that 5-second penalty?
Yeah, we saw a lot of silly mistakes today, especially the both mistakes from Happy Gilmore. First of all, the strategy mistake in the pit lane with the 5-second penalty for speeding. Oh, and something happened to Arin there. He's lost time to reach the enable, so we saw the three of them really close into the exit of the final corner. Now, Arin has lost the DRS train, and Evilsuk now is at the back of Rishi, and Vintage Grease is getting past Arin now into turn 4. Sorry, Rishi is now at the back of Evilsuk, I should have said. And now this is gonna cost them time. They're gonna lose now the DRS train, and Rishi now can easily try and go for Evilsuk, but there are only 6 more laps to go for Rishi to try and chase Samba and then try to pull away a 3-second gap. So I think Rishi's best result today is gonna be that P2. I think he threw away the win when he decided to make that second stop. He should have easily gone to the end on those medium set of tires he placed in the first safety car, but decided to go back into the pit lane to change for a fresh set of tires, and that didn't pay off really well for him. Now he's gonna go for the move on Evilsuk. He's gonna get it done into turn 1, of course, but now fighting for the win is gonna be nearly impossible. And yeah, coming back into the mistakes, we saw a lot of mistakes there, silly mistakes, especially the one from Happy Kilmore, as I was saying, the 2 of them. Finally the spinner that took him definitely out of this race after he was saved by some luck from the previous one. Then we saw the mistake from Famrod going side by side into the corner on Sector 2, at the start of Sector 2. I'm not sure what exactly the number of corner it was, but it was another mistake there by Famrod. But in all of this, the most consistent driver has been Semba, who has started, as we know, from P19, has made it up into P1, and is leading comfortably the race at this point. Rishi is now gonna need to subtract a total of 4 seconds to get into the back of him. Well, less than that to get into the DRS range, but then pulling away a 3-second gap is gonna be nearly impossible, as I said. 5 more laps to go on this Brazilian Grand Prix. Samba leads 4 seconds ahead of Rishi. The pace seems to be similar between the top 2. Even Samba seems like he is making like a 10th on Rishi on that final lap. So I think everything is set at this point, unless there's a big mistake by Samba, which of course could happen, but I don't think. I think the ones that made a mistake was Rishi now, that's getting once again gonna be attacked by Evilsuk into turn 4. Evilsuk gets the move done into turn 4, and that is gonna cost Rishi even more time. Now the lead is being extended to 5 seconds from Samba in the Alfa Romeo. Here comes Rishi trying to go all the way by the outside, but nowhere he can find a gap to retake the place from Vintage Grace. Didn't really see what happened to Rishi there, but possibly, well, just maybe a big slide or something that cost him time. Not enough to put him in the wall, but enough to allow Evilsuk back into the DRS range, cost him the place. Really good run out of turn 3, and coming for Evilsuk into the first DRS straight. Shouldn't be hard move for Rishi, but Evilsuk is gonna try and defend by the inside. Actually, Evilsuk, he pushed him up the road a bit there, but he didn't. Could have folded into his place. Rishi now takes P2. Oh, and Vintage Grease is out! Vintage Grease is a late mistake by Vintage Grease. The man that... Oh, safety car! Safety car, and this changed everything completely. Samba's 6.4 second lead is over now in the final 3 laps of the race. Now is someone gonna come in for soft tires for the final laps of this race? I mean, the laps currently of the age of the tires currently now from the drivers is 24 lap old medium, 16 lap old medium tires, 16 lap old hard tires. I think fresh softs could play a big difference on the ending status of this race. Samba stays out. Rishi, is he gonna come in for fresh soft tires? No, he's gonna stay out. Evilsuk stays out as well. Arin stays out. No one's taking the risk. Happy Kilmore's gonna stay out as well. Ouch might be taking the risk today of going for a fresh set of soft tires. No one really wanted to lose the track position, but Ouch actually has nothing to lose because the driver behind him, Hickos, now got a drive to penalty, another silly mistake, as you were saying. There goes Ouch switching for the soft set of tires to finish this race, and he's only gonna lose one place to Juventino, so it was a really good negotiation from Ouch there, pitting for fresh soft tires for the final lap, 2 laps of this race. He is just gonna come out behind Juventino, but I think the safety car should be going out on this lap, as it usually gives a maximum of 2 laps of racing. Don't think it's gonna stay for one more lap. Then we would have only one more lap of racing, but DRS is not gonna be enabled, so overtaking is gonna be really difficult. Not impossible, of course, but we can see Elch is quickly closing the gap into the pack, and safety car is gonna go out on this lap. Juventino and Elch closing fastly to the safety car. I guess My Dust is not gonna be able to get into the pack when the restart comes, or might he do it, depending on how early does Semba restart the race. Can Rishi try and make the move on Semba into turn 1 maybe? Can maybe even Evelsuk win this race? Can we have some of surprises coming now? Semba does a really good restart on lap 34 to stop lap 35, the final 2 laps of the race. What can Elch do now on fresh soft tires? I'm gonna go on board with Elch now. See what can he do? He's trying to go all the way by the outside. He's already got past the Ferrari of Juventino into turn 1. He's now gonna look for the Ferrari of Broken Reptile, but Broken Reptile also on soft tires. 7 lap old soft tires, but soft tires still, they are gonna come for the drivers ahead of them. Elch, now Elch messes up and picks a 3-second time penalty. Once again, another silly mistake. Picking a penalty at this point of the race. Semba leads comfortably ahead of Rishi, 4 times ahead. There's not gonna be a way that Rishi can get past him. At least I think that. There's not gonna be DRS. Ben now going side by side with Happy Kilmer. Happy Kilmer making a place. And finally, once again, his luck is saving him from a disaster result to at least he's gonna make it into the podium. Happy Kilmer's gonna make it into the podium just behind Rishi and just behind Semba and Evelsuk, because he's gonna be promoted to P3 I think because of the penalties Rishi and Aaron have. Final lap of the race, Semba is gonna win in great manner. I think this is debut win. If I'm not wrong, I'm 99% sure this is a debut win from Semba. He's gonna come and win starting from, it's almost gonna be a loss to first. He started on P19, he's gonna finish this race in first place if he doesn't make any mistakes in the next 2 sectors. He's been put under pressure by Rishi, but we have to remember that Rishi has that 3-second time penalty. Great driving by the Alfa Romeo driver, joined late in qualifying, did an amazing race. Following Elch now into the battle against Ben. Don't think he has a place to send the dive now, maybe into the next corner, but still with the penalty, nothing really he can do. He sends a massive dive there down the inside, takes the place from Ben. Ben goes pushed a bit off the road there. Final corner for Semba is gonna come and win in the Brazilian Grand Prix, round 14 of PFR Division 2 Season 4. Semba wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. There he goes into the finish line. Rishi, can he hold into second place? No, he won't. Evelsuk is gonna finish in second, and Happy Kilmore loses the podium by only 88 thousandths of a second. That was really close. Rishi, even with the penalty and with that late safety car, managed to save the podium. Broken Reptile will finish on P5, Ben will finish on P6, Eat My Dust takes P7, Elch will take P8, Orin will take P9, with 28 lap old medium tires, and well, that's the same case for Semba and Evelsuk. There you can see, as I was saying before the race started, that tires lasted a lot on this track, and well, there's the proof. Mediums made it 28 laps on this race. There you can see how the tires last on Brazil. But I have to say, what a drive from Semba today, which of course is going to receive driver of the day from part of the game, and of course for me personally is also with no doubt my driver of the day for this Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great race from him, all the way from P19 to P1. He's going to be very, very happy with that result and his first race win. And that's definitely one way to do it. But yeah, a lot of close racing. It's definitely a very close division, but I think a lot of the drivers could make up so many more positions. A lot of drivers that finished at the back could have been fighting for the win at points, but I think a lot of silly mistakes really cut that out. And as you can see there, he got a 3-second penalty for cutting turn 4 when he was under no real pressure, and that's ended up costing him a top 5 position. And yeah, I think Rishi did really well to score a podium there, 88 thousandths ahead of Happy Kilmore, just about getting onto the podium. And that is really going to help him out in the championship. A race win definitely probably would have been best for him, because it would have given him the lead in this championship. But after that 3-second penalty, he's going to have to settle for P3 in this race. Happy Kilmore making a great recovery after that interesting strategy call, to say the least, getting all the way back up into P4, getting some decent points. Broken Reptile, after making once again a funny pit strategy decision, manages to get back up to P5. Benny and Eat My Dust finishing in P6 and 7. Huge after that penalty, falls down to P8. Aaron made big mistakes on that last safety car restart, and that's what caused him to fall all the way down to P9. The Ferrari driver finishing P10, and literally Siggins finishing just outside the points. And Lee Wayne King is going to get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but he finishes in P12, so that's not going to give him any points. And obviously Evil finishing P2 and on the podium. But yeah, a really, really exciting race, but a lot of mistakes from a lot of drivers. But other from that, it was very close racing. I really enjoyed that one.
Fun race for sure, with a lot of interesting strategy choices, like the second pit stop by Richie that ended costing him the win. Then some silly mistakes, but that brought a lot of excitement into the race. And finally, with a really unexpected winner like Semba, starting on P19, also being his first race on the league. So yeah, much more fun race than the last couple of races we've had in PFR. And also it was a pleasure to commentate alongside with you, Kona, looking into more for the next weeks in the next rounds of PAFR Division 2. Hope you enjoyed it as well, commentating with me today.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable, a great race, and I'm really looking forward to the final 2 races and the battle for the championship, and then the new season in just a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, it's definitely a very exciting league, and really happy to be here. But yeah, that's obviously going to be the end of the Grand Prix, and the Brazilian Grand Prix. Only 2 rounds left to go, I think, and getting very close in the championship between Rishi and Luke, and it's going to be a big battle to the final race. And I hope you're all as excited as I am to watch it all unfold. But a very eventful race. I hope to see you all next week for a race that's hopefully just as good as this one was. And yeah, the last 2 rounds are going to be very exciting.
This also means that Rishi is gonna make up some points on his championship rival PFR Luke that wasn't able to race today. So I think the championship might still be open for the final 2 rounds. Of course, it's gonna be really difficult for Rishi to finally make it into a championship win against PFR Luke, which had a really good advantage. But we will have more excitement in that way for the final 2 rounds. And now we are going to go with the post-race interviews. We are going to get the top two in the party chat, as Rishi has said that he is not able to make it into the interviews. So I'm gonna add now Semba and Evilsuk into the party chat, so we can get started with the post-race interviews. Well, then now we are here with the top two on the race, and well, we have Aaron that's saying that he can get his penalty removed. We'll see, but more than welcome to have you as well in the interviews of this race, as we had a lot of exciting battles with a lot of people today. So I'm gonna start with the race winner Semba, and first of all I have to say congratulations for that man. It was almost a last to first, P19 to P1. What a driving from you.
Thank you.
Weren't able to
Yeah, it
make it into
was.
qualifying. Yeah. Uh, so well, talk us about your race itself. How did the car feel? You feel they're really comfortable on your car and your setup for sure. So tell us exactly how you planned this race and how was it possible to make it into P1.
Yeah, couldn't make it to qualifying. Just had to concentrate on the race. Well, the car felt great. Well, just try to stay on the track, avoid any penalties, avoid crashes. Yeah, just picking the right moments to overtake. Well, I lagged quite a bit, so it was quite confusing because at one point I was on my screen I was 8 seconds up on the others, and suddenly it switched back to 1.2, 1.3. So it was quite confusing. Uh, but yeah, managed to keep it tight and go to the end and win.
Yeah, and I just have a quick question there. Obviously, you started outside the top 10. Why is it that you started on the softs instead of going for the mediums and the alternate strategy? Did you predict that a safety car would come out in the early stages?
Mm, I don't think I predicted it. Just I've raced quite a lot of races the last few years, so I know when you, when there's a full grid, there's a high possibility of a safety car, even two. So, well, I thought about the mediums, but I thought if I had to uh, get my way through the grid, um, I had to start on the soft to have some tire advantage.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was an amazing race, obviously, from P19 to P1. Is this your first race win in PAFR?
It certainly is. I drove one race in Division One in Russia. Quite unlucky for me that race, and then I didn't have time to race the last 3 or 4 races. So yes, uh, it's a nice one to finish my first race and win.
Yeah, well, I mean, congratulations to you. A really great race. And I just have a few questions for Evil, obviously finishing P2 and on the podium, and being able to get into P2 after obviously Rishi getting that 3 second time penalty. So you started P7, a decent qualifying, and you managed to move yourself up all the way into P2. And I just want to ask, on that second safety car, was there even a thought of your mind coming into the pit lane again, maybe going for mediums or even trying to stretch the softs to the end of the race?
Um,
there wasn't really any thought after I got onto the mediums. Um, I knew I could get them to the end. Bit close for comfort, nearly getting a puncture on the last straight, which would have been a bit disappointing, to say the least. But obviously managed to stretch out, drop the tyre pressures to what I was used to. So glad to have managed to make it work.
Yeah, and obviously tire temperatures are a big struggle at this track, and usually to negate that, you have to really bring down the tire pressures, which is obviously going to cost you in high-speed areas. Did you really feel that today?
Um, yeah, it was the tire temps didn't really play much of a factor. I didn't really feel much understeer. The softs were a bit iffy, but the mediums just felt absolutely amazing for about most of the 27 laps I was on them. So
Yeah, well, I mean, great race to you as well, all the way from P7 to P2, but now to Rishi finishing on the final place on the
Oh,
podium.
actually, Rich is not here. He couldn't make it to interviews.
Oh, that's a
But
shame. So,
I do have a question for Evil Suk, or well, I want to ask you about your battle with Rishi, especially the moment where he had already got you, and then I think he made a mistake into the turn 1 or turn 3, and you could got
yeah.
past him again. So please talk us about your battle against Rishi. Were you expecting to be on the podium today before the safety car came out, or in P2, or were you expecting a P3? Where you think you could have sticking to those 3 seconds, or not really, before the safety car came out?
Well, I did think I could stick with him as long as I stuck with him with the DRS. Obviously, he is absolutely rapid, and it was a very tough ask to try and stick with him. So, but obviously that one mistake, I was able to close in, quickly grab the DRS off him, and get past him, and then he couldn't really get past me until the straight, and then of course he got past me. We had that safety car, and it was a bit close for comfort with the penalty. So it felt all right, to be fair, to battle against one of the top guys, especially in only my fourth race. So it's good to be at the top, I guess, like trying to fight the top guys. So it's all right.
All right, man. Congratulations on your podium. I guess this is your first podium in PFR, of course. So
Yeah, yeah.
congratulations for that. And now I'm
Cheers.
gonna go with Arin, as we don't have Richie, but I would really like to interview Arin, especially about what he has just said about his penalties. So, well, I guess the current result is not good at all for you, but you say you can get your 6 second penalties removed. So can you explain us why is that? Were you forced off the road when you got the penalties? Maybe you were in middle of a battle when you picked out one of them and you had no more option than go off the road, and you think you could appeal the penalties? Or, well, I guess it's 6 warnings what you got, so not sure if you got a direct 3 second time penalty. But in any case, tell us what is the reason you think you can get those penalties removed?
I got two instant 3 second penalties with no warnings. And I only had two warnings for the whole race. I believe that AlphaTauri, I think it was lap 13 on the last turn before the back straight, or the third last turn. I believe the AlphaTauri had minor wing damage. So it wasn't his fault. I was just trying to cater to him. He had to brake a little bit earlier, so I took evasive action in the braking zone to get around him. Went over the curb, gave me two 3 second penalties without warnings. Then I tried to give him the position back, but I think he had a bad exit as well. And then I carried on. So I think I crossed the line in P4, and I don't want to upset his day, but I believe P1 might get a penalty as well.
Oh, I think that is because of the reading up when you didn't tell. I guess that is as I read it in the chat.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it was a really good race for you. I really enjoyed you going side by side. I think it was almost 4 cars altogether into the main straight, into the final corner as well. Don't remember exactly who they were, but I remember there were around 4 cars going almost side by side. It was a really big battle going on there in the midfield. So thanks for all that entertainment. Also, talk us about those final laps against Rishi and Ebelsuk. I saw you were defending really hard on Rishi, so maybe were you thinking about Luke, your teammate, as he is still in contention for the championship? Maybe you wanted to hold Rishi for a bit more and maybe make him lose some points. Was that going through your mind when you were fighting against Rishi in the final stages of the race?
A lot was going through my mind actually. I was planning to do a two-stop, a soft, medium, soft, and the safety cars just came out at very inconvenient times for me. I suppose for several others as well. So I had to keep staying out and just make sure that I can save my tires under the safety car and just stretch a little bit more because I only did a one stop and I pitted lap 7, I believe. Um, uh, so I had I think like 70% tire wear on the mediums when I crossed the line. So when I was battling Luke and Rishi, I knew Rishi had a 3 seconds and my 6 seconds could get removed. It was more of just keep him behind as long as possible and bring the car home. But yeah, a lot was going through my mind, so I guess I was just more focused on trying to bring the car home more than anything. But it was a good battle out there. Had a few good battles, which was good.
Any questions, Conal, for Arin?
No, but I just want to say that was a good race from you, just being able to keep your own up against the other guys and the battle for P3. And, if you can get those 6 seconds of time penalties removed, obviously you'd be looking very good for a lot of points. But yeah, congratulations, but I don't have any more questions.
No, all good. I appreciate that, and hopefully it was an entertaining race for both of you, and your debut as well as commentating, and hopefully we can see you both next week.
Yeah, it was definitely a more fun race than I think the last race in Mexico last weekend. Also much fun there in Russia a couple of weeks ago. Wasn't really exciting races, but today was really fun with the alternate strategies, with the some mistakes from some people. So Semba's fight back from P19 to P1. I don't know about the penalty that could be given, but on the race itself, it was really good to watch. So looking forward into next weekend, which I guess it is Australia.
Yep, I believe you're correct. So I think that's the second last round of the season. Then we finish off at Saudi Arabia, and then we go into F2. That should be good fun.
All right, then that's gonna be all for today. Thanks for the interviews, guys. Thanks, Samba. Thanks, Luke, Evelsuk has already left. Thanks, Aaron, for the interviews as well. And, that's going to be all for today. We'll meet back again next weekend, if I'm not wrong, for the Australian Grand Prix. Then, of course, only 2 more rounds to go. Final round is at the new F1 track, Saudi Arabia, started on 2021. So also big thanks and congratulations to Conal. Did a really great job commentating alongside with me today, and looking forward into more for the last 2 rounds. So we'll meet back again in round 15 of PFR Division 2 Season 4 at the Australian Grand Prix. Thanks to everyone again, and goodbye.
Is that ended?
Yeah, I just got the stream.
Cool. If you guys have to go, you have to go, but just let me know, or you just message me if you've got any feedback on commentating or the race or whatever. Feel free to just PM me, and we can go from there. But if you do have other friends interested in commentating, I'm trying to get 2 per division, so we've already got 2 for Div 1. We've now got 2 for Div 2, and we've got 1 for each of our Thursday divisions. But otherwise, enjoy the last two races. Hopefully, it lessens the workload for both of you. And with you both streaming, you can show more of the race, sort of thing. And yeah, like I said, just message me. I'll get back to you when I can. And hopefully, you guys do enjoy working together.
Yeah, it was really fun. And about your
No.
time zone, you live in Australia, right? So is it like 9 o'clock for you now?
Yes, 9 p.m.
Alright. Yeah, just making sure. Because it's 12
Yeah.
in the morning around here. Or in the afternoon even.
Yeah, so when AU is 9 hours ahead of UK, 8 hours ahead of Central EU, and what do we dub it? We're 14 hours ahead of you, I believe, or 16 hours ahead of you in South America.
Yeah, right now it is 6 a.m. here.
Oof. All right, I'll let you go, David. I think we all look forward to your highlight videos when you've got the time.
Sure, I've been quite busy the last weeks, but as soon as I have time, I'll make. I think I have footage of 2 races, and I think I did save correctly this one, and I'll be making the highlights as soon as I can.
Yeah, no stress. Also, I'm trying to, just so you guys know, next season is going to be a lot more professional broadcasting. So, going to have our own YouTube account. Most likely, we'll have a website. It's not going to be like, a multi-million-dollar looking website. It's just going to be sort of to reach out a bit more. But I mean, like, I want to post like highlights so you guys will be able to boost your reputation for commentating as well, get your name out there, and we've got a sponsor, so they'll be able to chip in a bit of money because everything at the moment is coming out of my pocket. So with our sponsor, we might be able to pay a bit more, or they might be able to pay half of what I pay. But yeah, so it's trying to make it a bit more professional. Try and get a website, and all your highlights will get posted to the website and Discord, so you get your name out there a bit more.
Yeah, for next season, I'll be doing highlights since the start of the season. I'll be doing it on time. I'll focus on that as well. I
Yeah,
would
that's fine.
ask to find someone to make like a design for the, how was this called?
Oh, graphics for the stream?
No. I forgot the thumbnail. The thumbnail for the highlights.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
because
yeah.
I don't know how to do that. So
That's right. When I make the YouTube account, I'll try and get all that sorted. I will need some help from some people, but that will be sorted. Like I said, for now, we're still at Division EU. Was their first season. Division 1, we've had a lot of drivers get promoted, so they're all fresh racing together. Division 2, we've been racing for like 2.5 seasons, so we're all cool. And Division AU's in their second season. So we're a bit of a mix, so we're trying to establish ourselves to upper standards all as one. But like I said, everything is going to be sorted for Season 5. So don't stress. Just keep enjoying what you're doing now. Don't stress too much, and hopefully next season we can have, if you guys have got the time, we can do like before and or after the race interviews, if you've got the time.
yeah, I'm able to do that, but I mean, a lot of times when I've asked drivers if they can pre-race interviews, like I get no answer, so that's why I haven't done it
No,
recently.
that's fine. I'm happy to do it. I know I might not be the most entertaining lad on the planet, but I'm happy to do that, even just to get, to keep you guys talking. But then again, you've got each other to talk to. So if you wanted to do that, like, jump in 30 minutes before the lobby starts, have your talk show or not. Like I said, I know you've got other things to do in life, so I'm not forcing this on you two. I'm just saying it would be great if you could, but I
Yeah, we can
understand you've
do
got your own stuff.
like the previous race, like a summary of the previous race, also like our predictions for the race, make like a little debate of what we think could happen, talk about strategy, lap times, all
I
that.
think that's I think that's brilliant, and I believe the lads would really like that. And I can speak to the sponsor to see if they'll chip in a little bit more if you do invest more time. But like I said, I'm trying to be as fair as possible, and I'm not trying to be greedy where everything's just for us. That's why you guys are getting paid, and that's why I'm willing to let you guys stream on your own accounts to boost your rep a bit more until next season. But I've babbled on too long. I'll leave you guys to it. And hopefully see you both next week.
Just
Oh,
two
by the way,
things. Oh yeah, sorry, you go first,
continue.
David.
Oh no, I
Yep.
wanted to ask something else. Remember you told me time ago about the league versus league race. Is it gonna be soon or still on planning?
Well, we've got F2. So we finish the season in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time. And then we go straight into F2. That's only going to be one division. That's going to be the same time on Sundays. That's going to be a mixed skill level. It's going to be no damage, about 45 minutes, preset setups. So it's just going to be a lot of, hopefully, just fun. And then I believe there is, and then a couple of days later, F122 gets released. So Sundays will be occupied with F2. If I can get some lads to do Saturdays, I'll be happy to do a League v League. I am going to try and talk to the other leagues as well, see if they're available, because they're still finishing off their season.
All right. Oh, and my final question is: next season will start like around August, I guess, or is it gonna start as soon as the game is released?
No. So the game gets released. Then we're going to have, I think it's like 4 to 6 weeks. We're going to have 4 evaluation races, 3 or 4 evaluation races over, I think it's 4 to 6 weeks. And then at the last evaluation race, we go straight into the season. So that will approximately be August 14th, I believe. So early mid August we'll start, and then obviously we'll do the same block: 4 races, week off, 4 races, week off, and then we finish 2 weeks before Christmas, and we have a 4-week break, and then go into season 6.
All
All right.
right.
Can I just ask two things? Well, not really
Yep.
ask, but just say. The first is I can't really do post-race interviews because I'm a child and I have parents who get up at the exact time the race finishes and they come in and they shout a lot. Isn't that right, Mom? Yeah. So they do a lot of their shouting, and but I can do the pre-race one. That'd be fine. And then also, what sponsor did you get on board?
Oh, it's a friend with his carpentry business. So I just said, if I put your oh my goodness, company's name on a few of our, like, the driver cards, the track info, and the streams, the commentators say, "Welcome to PFR, proudly sponsored by Specon." So they say that at the start and the end of the streams. So it's just a friend. I'm helping him out, just to get the name out there, whether it helps him or not. And he's just giving some, pocket money to help me out instead of just everything coming out of my pockets. But basically, in a nutshell, season 1 and 2, we were just racing for fun. And then season 3 built up some good rep. And then season 4, I've sort of established, I'm like, yeah, I only want to keep 2 Sunday divisions and 2 Thursday divisions. If I have to let go of one of the Thursday divisions or whatever, that's fine, but I'm not doing any more than that. I want to keep it as is. So we're sort of established now. Now I can sort of branch out with more sponsors and talk to people, make it look a bit more professional. Yeah. And as for the interviews, I think it would probably be better if you guys did a pre-race discussion, as opposed to interviews after the race, purely because sometimes people can't make it, like yourself, you can't make it. Whereas the pre-race, you're sort of introducing everyone. They can it might motivate and entice people to join the lobby sooner so they can listen to the stream. So if you both can do that, fantastic. And I think that might be even better to do than interviews afterwards. But I'm more than happy to do interviews afterwards each week. Doesn't bother me.
All right, perfect. And you said you were doing a League v League thing. What's that about?
So we've got a few partnered leagues where they're in the UK or Europe, and they race Saturday night, Sunday night, and we've got another one that races Tuesday and Sunday, and we've got another one which is David's league that races Wednesday and Saturdays, I believe, still.
Not Wednesday anymore.
Okay, so just Saturdays with 2 divisions now. So I'm going to try and talk to them, see if we can organise a Saturday, because obviously Sundays we're going to be busy with F2. And basically, it's depending on how many leagues partake in it. It'll be like, 5 drivers from each league partake, still using the actual cars. So it'll be like PAFR uses Red Bull and AlphaTauri, NRL uses Mercedes and Williams, sort of thing. And we just do the same as today: short qualifying, 50% race, and yeah, basically the league with the most points wins, sort of thing. It's more just for fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you know a league that's interested, I'm talking to someone that's got a similar league to us, but in Europe. He races Thursdays and Sundays as well. And if we can put forward our fastest drivers with no assists, I'm really looking forward to try and get that happening. And I want to get that sort of like a repeating thing. I don't want it to just be random.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, if you're ever looking for a spare league, I can enter my one if you want.
Yeah, do you have many that use no assist? No stress if you don't.
No assist. I doubt it.
Yeah.
I think most people use ABS, even the fastest guys when you run to time trial, and people in my league do that as well. And I think a lot of people use Racing Line as well.
Yeah. Would they be available Saturday mornings? Because obviously the time difference. Because I know a lot of AU lads would be interested in doing a League v League. And obviously it would either be Saturday or Sunday evening.
Yeah, I'll be
for
sure
us.
if my league was doing, I'll be sure to ask. I haven't. See, the thing is, I've got I think 125 people in the server, not too much, but I've only got about 30 racers. But I'm sure if it's 4 or 5, I'm sure I'll be able to find some. And if I couldn't find that many, I'm sure I'd be able to race as well.
What days do you guys race?
Tuesday nights.
Just Tuesday?
Yeah. We only have 1 division so far.
No, that's fine. It's not about how many divisions you have, it's the quality. And just my tip, doesn't matter if you've got 500 members or 50 members. If you ever want to open up a division, this is based on my experience, make sure you've got minimum 30 full-time drivers per division to open up the division, because there's always going to be like 5 that go, I'm happy to go reserve, and there's going to be another 5 that be like, oh, actually, I have to be reserve. So then you still got 20. So
see, the thing is with my league, I'm really, because I started league racing in like November, and I got like heavily into it, and I started doing like 10 league races a week, and grinding it out. And problem that I found with most leagues is they were just dirty, and I didn't want to race in them, so I left half of them. And now I'm only in 5 leagues racing and like 4 leagues commentating. But yeah, I just didn't want a dirty league. I wanted a clean one that could be good and that people wanted to join and come to and race in. So the way I do it is I only have 17 full-time drivers, and then people can sign up. They get made a reserve, and then it's only 3 reserves per race because I had a traumatic experience at Japan where I threw in 8 reserves and 4 finishers, so that was fun. So from now on, I only let 3 reserves race. They have to obviously record their race. I watch it. I see if they're clean or not. If they're not, they can't race, and if they are, they get a full-time seat. Anywho, I don't know why I'm saying that. That's just how my system works.
Oh, I have people need to send in a 25% race of Britain, and I look at their time, see how consistent they are, and then I put them in a division, and then I'll try and do a 5-lap race with them to see how they race. But you know, they'll be like really clean in those lobbies because they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to race, and then come race day they're different. So I'm not too stressed about that, unfortunately. Like, no, it's probably not the best idea, but people can fake something and then do something else on race day. But
Yeah, see, that's what I that's what I was exactly what I was thinking when I made my system. That's why I put them into the actual, races in the race calendar as reserves, so that they're fighting for points, and they're fighting with the drivers that they'll be racing against to see how they actually race when they're trying to get a good position.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
anywho.
but yeah, yeah. Look, I think we've all been talking long enough. I'll let you guys go, and if you've got any other things, just PM me, and I'll get back to you when I can. But like I am a bit busy because I'm trying to organize and finish off a few things to post to the Discord. But once the season ends, I'll have more time to like chill and focus on other things.